Well, you said it, Malcolm. Okay, just minutes ago, cocksure Chris Cummings pulled a bluff on Ace's high.
Load in your mouth and pill farm, because when the cards go against you, it's time to swallow, and it's good for you.
You know, I don't know.
How will you know if terror is about to win?
A terror alert this afternoon in Liberty City.
An awesome, terrible tragedy tonight in the South Slope section of Brooklyn.
Weasel News, the news Liberty City trusts.
Are you a sex offender? Find out tonight.
Ethnics are at it again. Weasel News is on the scene, hovering at a safe level in our chopper.
The best in political news and analysis.
Today, President Lawton suspended habeas corpus and saved freedom.
That's excellent.
And Weasel Chopper 4. If someone's in trouble or on fire, the Weasel News Chopper is there on top of the action.
Sir, you there on fire. Could you face the camera, please?
Hard-hitting stories, attractive news anchors with great hair, self-consciously multicultural with racist undertones. It's the Weasel News Team. Anchors Cindy Shiney, Charles Justice, meteorologist Artie Schneider, street reporter Sheila Hatano, and Kenny Lapalano with the sports. We call it News. Your team for the war on terror, the weather, and sports. Weasel News.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Grand Theft Auto 4. I just thought I would show off a little bit of the telly in this game, because yeah, you can, if you want to, you can just sit your ass down and watch some programs on your telly box, and they're pretty funny. I haven't really done much of the TV watching in this game, but I wanted to give it a shot, and luckily we got it on the Weasel News, which I think is one of the more sort of incisive, satirical elements of this game. I like the parody news on TV and on the radio, and I always likened Weasel News, like when I first played this game, I would always liken it in my head to something like Fox News. But it really does, now that I look at it, it bears a lot of similarities to a lot of mainstream cable news channels. Like, I could see it kind of being, I don't think it's lampooning any one channel in particular, but some of the segments give me more like MSNBC vibes than Fox. The thing that made me think that it's Fox is when on the radio their tagline is confirming your prejudices. But, you know, fucking CNN and MSNBC and all of them, they also confirm prejudices as a big part of their coverage. So I'm not really sure. And I really like that line toward the end there in the TV clip where it says it's self-consciously multicultural with racist undertones, which I like. I think that's, like I said, one of the more incisive bits of satire in media satire in this game, pointing out how it's like socially liberal in a very symbolic manner. But it is also, you know, racist because, you know, in the same breath as all that, having shit like, whatever they say, like, the ethnics are at it again, which, you know, obviously a little on the nose, but, you know, how, it's like how I've gotten into arguments with my dad before, because he, pretty much exclusively watches Fox News for his information at this point. And he always, and you know, there are significant enough differences, I suppose, but he sees Fox as like somehow divorced from the rest of the liberal media landscape. But I consider Fox News, like, to me, what I think of when I think of liberal media, Fox News is included in that as well, even though it obviously takes on an overtly conservative editorial approach. I mean, liberalism, specifically neoliberalism, is like the dominant ideology of America in general, regardless of if you're a Democrat or Republican. It's just kind of shades of conservative capitalism. One that takes on a socially liberal affect and one that doesn't. And to me, that socially liberal affect is just that. It's, just a symbolic aesthetic thing, but the content of it can still be just as racist. I mean, and it mostly comes out of the sensationalism, and that's essentially what the argument that I've had with him is about. Is that there is no such thing as a liberal media. Like, we don't really have a media that is specifically championing liberal causes, whatever you're going to call those, or not even close to having a mainstream news channel that is pushing genuinely left principles or views or coverage. But all of them promote, sensationalism, and that includes sensationalism of things like violence and crime and terrorism, and that usually involves some profiling and some not entirely good coverage of, minorities and poor neighborhoods and stuff like that. I mean, it kind of has slowed down in recent weeks just because of all that's going on. Also, this guy kind of looks like Hitler from that angle. Not so much that one. What was I fucking talking about? Anyway, the point is, I think this game gets at the point that I was trying to get across to my dad in that argument, which is that it is more about the money. The acquisition of capital is more of the potent driving force of their editorial decisions than any real commitment to any ideology or any sort of real idea. Whereas Fox News, I mean, if you look at the words of Rupert Murdoch and Roger Ailes, it was very specifically, it still follows that capital accumulation thing. It's corporate media just like CNN or MSNBC or what have you, but it was specifically made with the intention of editorially taking on a conservative alternative to the rest. But to me, where it really counts, they're pretty much all basically one and the same. They're worst. The reasons that I think they're bad for people are about the same. It's just that they, there's two teams in this country that where it really counts, they're all on the same team, and the Fox News versus CNN divide, trying to think of them as, in any way incomparable to each other, is, to me, just a way to sort of keep people from looking at the whole picture. So I've rambled for a good 5 minutes now. Here we are in this random, not really a mission. It's one of those missions that you just kind of get a phone call and have to do it. You don't really have a choice, which is fine. But yeah, it's a big ol' shootout in a warehouse. One of like 90 of these that happens in this game. And like always, I'm just taking it pretty slow. And are people who are good at this game, and specifically good at the big shooting galleries like these, like, am I really bad at them? Like, is my strategy for getting all the dudes, like, really shitty? Because I feel like it works okay. There I was trying to blow up the barrels, but I don't think they're the kind that blow up. And yeah, you kind of just have to... it doesn't help when Niko dives for the wrong cover. Kabam. But yeah, Roman has been kidnapped by some Dimitri boys, and so we're getting them. Well, while this is going on, since this isn't, like, plot or whatever, not really. I mean, Roman got captured, but, like, nothing really comes of this. It's just kind of a continuation of Dimitri fucking with you. But related to the whole, like, media satire thing about this game that I've been talking about, it is not so much instrumental to the plot, at least from what I can remember. I'll be paying closer attention this time around, and maybe there's something that I missed. I mean, it's been a while since I've really played through this entire game and actually paid attention to what's going on in the story. Most of the time I'm either dicking around or skipping everything because I've played this game many times and just want to get to the parts that I think are fun. But, so I don't know if it's as instrumental to the plot or character stuff as it may be, but the war on terror aspect of this game, which does, I feel like it probably does play a more crucial role. I kind of hope it does in the story than I remember, because it's one of the first things that you hear in the game, in the actual gameplay. I guess not in the opening cutscene, but right when you're driving Roman to the apartment at the beginning, he mentions that the bridges are closed because there was a big terrorist scare. He doesn't say that there was a terrorist attack, but there's been a big scare. And, you know, this game did come out in 2008, right? Kind of, you know, it was right after the Iraq troop surge, right before the recession started. Though, you know, by no means was the economy in an amazing shape at the time that this game was being written, which I'm assuming has to be like 04, 05 time. So very much a Bush-era game, I guess you could say. And like I said, I can't remember much of where it shows up in the actual story, but it is interesting. And it's mostly explored in the in-game media, the newspapers, like the news websites. I completely forgot about these dudes on the fucking beam. I'm very surprised that I didn't die here. The radio, the websites, the TV shows and everything. And I haven't caught all of it, but I have I've heard some of the jokes, and I generally find them about, like, the media coverage of terrorism and crime in the 2000s to be pretty, like, incisive and funny. So that's cool. So maybe I'll try to pay more attention to that as well, because I am really interested. I have, like, a video essay idea, though not everything needs to be a fucking video essay, but just, you know, general. It's a good way to develop out these kinds of thoughts. But I've been wanting to explore, like, how these Grand Theft Auto games, their vision of America, essentially, like what can we gather all together from this franchise of what it has to say about America and about capitalism at any given time, because it is very different time periods all set in late capitalism in these games. You know, you have Vice City in the 80s in Miami, you have San Andreas in early 90s LA, which is a very vivid you know, setting. You have this game in mid 2000s New York, which is, you know, like post 9/11 New York is pretty, you know, potent time to set your game. GTA 5 is just in kind of a vaguely defined post-recession, early 2010s, you know, late capital. But, yeah, I don't know. Because with a lot of these games like this that have these sort of lofty narrative and satirical ambitions, they don't always add up to any sort of coherent thing. And, you know, you get little moments of, you know, insight or interesting stuff. But, you know, sometimes it doesn't always add up. So I want to know if they add up, and if so, to what do they add up? But I will have to actually pay attention to the games and go through them, and then I have to use my tiny baby brain to think critically about it. But I think that it could be interesting and fun, and you know, it's not like I venture to make video essays or want to write anything that I want to write because I think that it would be, like, important or that it needs to be talked about for some reason. It's just, you know, it's shit that I find interesting. It's something that I haven't seen anyone else give a really, you know, cool or satisfying or interesting answer to, so it would be fun to do it myself, and I'm stuck in the fucking house and I'm bored, so what else to do except some grilling, you know, just get into what fulfills me and interests me and makes me happy and keeps me focused on things. But whatever. Here's a cutscene.
Oh, isn't America great? I get to sit in front of a computer and play Mr. Rich Man and get into debt with crooks.
Okay, I messed up. I know I did. I thought things would be different. I don't understand this place so good. Oh man, what are we going to do?
Stop sitting in front of the computer gambling our money. Stop getting into illegal card games. Stop spending all our money.
Yes.
Thank you.
And stop thinking about the Russians. Man, we just need to disappear as far as they're concerned. Disappear!
Okay, but I want Florian and Darko. I need to know what happened. Give me that.
Fine, but leave the Russians alone.
I was not the one gambling in their private club.
I didn't know! Give a guy a break!
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to clean up. I have a nasty feeling I had a bit of an accident back there. And Niko.
What?
Thanks.
Yards. Turn left.
Niko, shit is getting fucked up. I need to see you at my crib.
How did the big real estate deal go?
That cat ain't got no vision. Wants to shut down the site and shit, make it a memorial to union workers who died in accidents. Yeah, fuck yourself, I mean. I got big problems.
Oh yeah, fuck those union workers who've died in accidents. Yeah, we really did just kill a bunch of fucking union guys for a developer. Like, that's kind of fucked. I had never really considered the implications of that.
Man, business is tough. Now, I ain't a cold person. I mean, I am cold, but motherfucker.
What are you talking about?
You want a drink? Man, have a seat, man.
All right.
Now, I got into this dope game because it was the only thing that was open to me, man. The only thing, man.
Hey, I am not judging.
No, listen. Now, I paid my dues. Now, I learned in a hard school, man. And I changed stuff. You know me. I do this stuff so I got a chance to do some good in this town.
So you say.
So I say. So I do. When I get the money, man, I will build parks. I will sponsor kids. I will save lives. But I gotta have the money, man. 'Cause all this, it means nothing if you ain't got the heart, Niko.
Amen, brother.
I mean, fuck, man. Fuck! The thing is, you know, Jesus, he did some crazy shit too. I mean, everyone does. He killed people. He killed that John the Baptist cat.
He did what he had to. I don't even know, like, is there some contingent of people that think Jesus killed John the Baptist? Or is Playboy just an idiot? I do think it is telling and interesting and funny and fitting that Playboy's sort of vision of the world that he uses to explain and defend his actions to himself is all based on, like, a complete misunderstanding of history and society.
In prison a long time. Maybe you guys should talk.
No, I tried talking. No, I tried giving him half of the business. I tried everything a man could reasonably try and still call himself a man.
So what you gonna do? Kill him?
Hey, I didn't say that. And you cold.
I was joking.
But what else is there? I mean, the cat's been talking. Now I hear things. Said you and me was too tight now. Said you disrespected him. Called him mad. He's going crazy. I mean, he's gone. Prison does that.
Well, you can't kill him.
Nope. But you can.
Beer.
But I don't want to.
Well, neither do I, man. But if he goes insane, we all dead anyway. I mean, Dwayne is a killer.
I don't like these conversations.
Do you think that I do? But it's kill or be killed out there. You got a lunatic after you? Man, you don't. Now I will give you a lot.
That part pisses me off because I don't have a problem with people smoking. You know, because smoking is fun and people should do it if they want to. I've done it myself. But I really don't like when people blow smoke in people's faces. Or I guess just in my face. Especially if it's a cigar or cigarette smoke, because that shit is not good to be blown into people's faces. Not to be a fun crusher or a narc or anything. Like I'm saying, you should do what you want, but I don't know. I just think it's kind of rude. Anyway, we have been presented with a choice. Well, I guess we haven't been presented with the choice quite yet. But, you know, something has been instigated. The Playboy is gonna fucking make us kill Dwayne. Or will he? And yeah, now Roman somehow in debt like 4 hours ago to Russian mobsters now has enough money to buy us a nice apartment in Algonquin. So that's funny. And I think, am I showing it here? Oh, well, we have this fucker.
I have nothing to say to you.
I nearly ran into your cousin the other day. My friends were hanging out with him. The party got busted up, though, before I got there.
I wish you had been there. We could have had some fun.
Not as much fun as I would have had with Roman, believe me.
Yeah, just more Dimitri being a fuck ass. And Roman is addicted to gambling, so can you imagine that this is not the end of our involvement with the Russian mobsters, despite Roman saying that he is going to stop engaging with them? Also, Algonquin is fun because all of the streets are just straight lines, so if no one's on the road, you can really zip around here. And as you can see, I off-screen went to the store Perseus and bought a nice little suitie. Put my Ushanka hat back on just to look distinguished. You're going to have to buy a suit at some point pretty soon anyway. There are certain missions that you have to go into buildings where if you look like a grubby bum fucker, then they don't let you in, so you have to get a suit. Hopefully they also like the Ushanka hat for the one that I'm thinking of. There's one, we'll probably be doing it just in the next couple of parts. But anyway, so yeah, this is the place. This is where we're probably going to be heading back to the majority of the time for the rest of the playthrough, because this is the nicest safe house that you get, and it's also just kind of in a convenient spot in Algonquin. It's close to a lot of stuff, and we have a lot of emails to respond to. This is what I do when I'm presented with a a tough choice like Niko has been presented with Playboy and Dwayne right now, is I go on the internet and distract myself. But yeah, we'll be getting a lot of emails from primarily Roman and Brucey, but there's also one from Niko's mother, which is pretty sad and cute. Milika, I think is how her name is said. Also, I was gonna say, in one of those previous cutscenes, there was a line that was pretty quiet, and while I always have the subtitles on, I'm not used to hearing. I've been noticing with this, playing this on PC and editing it and everything, I'm not used to hearing a lot of quiet parts of the dialogue in this game. I never knew what they sounded like, because when I had this on console and played it at my parents' house, I always had it turned down a lot because my parents wouldn't want to hear all the fucking swear words and murdering, and I mean especially the ones where they have you in a strip club or you're fucking a hooker or something. I don't need them knowing that shit is going on. But anyway, that is the nurse woman that I've talked about before, that you can date, and she heals you if you make her like you a lot. So I'm just shooting my shot here, and I'm kind of showing off, checking out all the other shit you can do on this main iFind homepage. You can, buy shit and whatnot. I'm not really going to be getting invested in a whole lot of that. But I will be going back to the news site sometimes, because you can see stuff that you do in the game in them, which is pretty cool. But anyway, next time, more shit.